Howdy folks, welcome back. Future Matt here. So I apologize. The video did not start recording and I was several hours in, and I'm going to say that here in the next clip, but just wanted to stop in and tell you good morning. I bought some house wrap material, I guess it's Tyvek brand house wrap. And the only reason why I went Tyvek over the others is it said it had a better UV rating. And I know this thing's going to be out in the West Texas sun for maybe a year or so before I get it up and ready to put real siding on. So I apologize, but that's what I'm doing. And also need to apologize for, I have a pretty sour attitude in this video. I don't know why, but I'm not doing well that day, and the wind was aggravating the heck out of me. So I bought a new tool, and it's called a Stinger from off of Amazon. And it's a staple gun that has these little plastic discs that you staple. You pull the trigger, it puts a disc out, and when you slam it down, it staples through the plastic disc, and it spreads the load of the staple over an inch circle, or about an inch circle, to let the house wrap not rip through. So it's a great tool. Works fairly good. You know, it was the inexpensive option, and I understand that, but I was not having a good time with it. The learning curve was steep, let's just say that. So I'm sitting here trying to edit that video, and before I send it to Paul for final editing. But I just thought I'd stop in and say good morning. So I'm gonna have a little hot apple pie that my wife made me and finish this out, but I hope you enjoy.
Well, it's been several hours. And I really thought I was recording. But as you can see, there's some wind. It's just that time of year. But I put up a 3-foot wide section along the bottom. Now I'm going to put up a 9-foot wide section across the top up here. And it's probably a really good thing that the video wasn't going, because I was not being very thankful. What is it? Second Philippians. We were just doing this in Bible study. Second Philippians 2:12-16, somewhere in there, tells us that we should do all things with humility and grace. I don't remember exactly. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I will try to do better. But now that we're going to do the bigger piece and the wind's blowing even harder, you'll get to see me fail. Dude, stop. So far, I'm only moderately impressed with the stinger, but it could be me. Oh, yeah. It's probably me, but I'm not happy with it. God. Woo! Sorry, folks. It has a tendency of not tearing loose and just pulling multiple out, and that's a T-bit aggravating. And it has two little safety things, which it should, to work correctly. It should have two little ratcheting things, one to hold it, one to ratchet forward. But there should be a release. There needs to be a manual release, like you push the thing backwards or something to disengage it to pull them back, because the way it is right now, it's trying. That's a nice word for it. It's trying my patience, and it's getting dark. Sun's not down yet, but it's really cloudy. All right, do I cut the door out now, or do I wait till it stood up? I think I'm going to go ahead and put a slit in it, just so we can get through. And then I'll wrap it completely around and staple it from the inside. I think that's what I want to do. All right. And then I'm going to come in from the corner. Okay. Now that is way too much. I get it. Should I go ahead and cut? Yeah, I'll just go ahead and cut it off. Cut some of it off now. Time to sharpen the old butter knife again. That's pretty sharp. I don't know. Maybe it's just this stuff is so tough that my knife didn't want to cut it. We're going to go that route. Okay, story time. This rock bar and I have a pretty love-hate relationship. My father, Johnny Wayne Hodges, awesome man. I miss him dearly. I remember hating him as a kid because he was so strict, but I love him now for it. I'm sure my kids hate me for being strict, and I truly hope that they love me for it when they're my age. In the 15 years that I was alive, while he was alive, because he was killed when I was 15, I only saw that man scared twice. And he never admitted it either time. And there's a difference between being afraid and scared. And I shouldn't say that he was necessarily scared. He just let it show. As a man, I'm scared of a lot of things, or afraid of a lot of things, but I don't let anything scare me. But he let it show twice that I can remember. Once we were flying out to Ozona, Texas from Mineola, Texas. We got in a pretty bad storm, and he kept trying to go around it and above it, and never could get around. And he knew that he had several people in that plane's lives in his hands while he flew. And he was white knuckling it. He was in a new to him plane. I believe it was a Queen Air or a King Air. I'm not sure. Whichever one's the turboprop. It was a company jet. He was working for Longcrier Farms, and they went bankrupt. But anyway, while they were still alive, he was scared during that. The other time is also while we lived in East Texas. I was probably 13 or 14, and we decided we needed a new mailbox. And took the tractor. We had a little Kubota tractor with a post hole digger auger on it. Drove down, and we were having a pretty good time. It was father-son time, and I remember enjoying us laughing and joking and ribbing each other. There was a lot of times where he wasn't that way, or at least with me. He was with his friends, but you have to be a different person as a dad, and I don't like it all the time, but I have to do it too. So we were having a good day, and the old mailbox literally just shook it and pulled it out of the ground. It was rotting to pieces. He gave me a hammer and asked me to pull the nails out of the bottom board that's in the bottom of the mailbox, because the mailbox comes down, hangs over, and you put nails into it from the side. And I think it was a new mailbox. We were going to try to reuse it. So I was down here in the bar ditch. He was in the road with the auger digging a new hole, and I was down there prying nails out. And this was leaned up against the neighbor's mailbox. And as he's digging, now we had called 411, and they had come out and put in tags along there to show us where the power of the phone lines were at. So that was marked. But there was an old phone line buried, and it was wrapped around the neighbor's mailbox post, around the concrete or wood, whatever they'd done. Because when we started digging through, it wrapped up in the thing and it shook the neighbor's mailbox and knocked this off. And I think this thing's 6 foot long. And this curve right here came over and caught me right on the top of my head right up here. And my wife says that my wife and daughter looked at it and they said that they kind of see a scar, but not much. It's been a minute, so scar's healed. But my dad took me to it knocked me out. That thing hit me and it knocked me out. And the next thing I remember was Dad picking me up, asking me if I'm okay. And he's looking at it. And I hear him cuss under his breath. And he picks me up and he climbs up on the tractor. And, and I'm 15 or I'm 13, 14 years old. So I wasn't light, but he was a stocky dude, football player, all that. He picked me up, put me on the tractor, kind of sat me in his lap, drove the tractor up to the house, which was half a mile, carried me inside, sat me down right inside the front door, went and got on some clothes because he was just like in shorts. Told my mom what had happened. She came over and looked at me. She was going, oh dear. And we went to the vet clinic, or the clinic where we did embryo transfers, which was just a couple miles up the road. And he sat me on a bar stool. He asked me if I was okay to sit on a stool because he wanted to know if he just wanted me to sit in a chair. But the stool was the perfect height for him to just work right here and be close to where he's working on top of my head. And hey, Daisy, come on. Hey. And he stitched me up. And I remember him kept telling me, it's okay, it's just a few stitches. And he just kept stitching. He just kept stitching. I think he stitched for half an hour. And he was making a bunch of little tiny stitches. He wanted to not leave a scar. I think he did a really good job. But I was in my high top phase. I wore high tops everywhere I went. And I didn't lace them. I'd lace the bottom, but I'd leave the top open. My mom laughed at me and told me I looked like Jiminy Cricket sometimes, or because I would stand like this, and she said I'd look like Peter Pan, anyway, with little winged shoes. But anyway, I was going through my high top phase, and I felt my feet squishing, kind of squishy in my shoe. And I looked down, and there was blood pouring out the top of my high top. It had filled my shoe up, at least one, and I think it was my left. It had filled my shoe up to the point that it was overflowing. And I very calmly said, Dad, my shoe is full of blood. I think this is a little worse than you let on. And he paused for a second, and I felt him tighten up a stitch. And he cut it, and then he said, yeah, it was pretty bad, but I'm done. And he stitched for half an hour, I think. But took me home. Mom got me in the bathtub. I got in with shorts on because I didn't want my mom to see me naked because, you're 13, 14. You don't want anybody to see you naked. But she scrubbed. It took her forever to get all the white blood cells. They were starting to scab, and it was all in my hair, stringy, it was nasty. She worked really hard to get it all out without hurting me. But my dad had that same pale look on his face. Man, I've had that same look with some of my kids. Casey, if you're watching this, you scared the shit out of me once. Actually, a couple of times, but only really scared me once. And I won't talk about it, but it scared me. Does that feel good, Daisy? Everett accidentally swallowed bunch of pills, and it ended up being no big deal. They were just ibuprofen, but it scared me. But anyway, I'll stop with story time. We're almost done here. Well, we're not almost done. We're done with the wrap. I'm gonna crib up this side a little bit, so when whoever my helpers are get here tomorrow, we don't have to work so hard to get it up off the ground. Then we can go from there. Right, Daisy? Right? I see you. Yeah, you're a good girl. Okay, a few more. Let's do a few more. Okay, move. Good girl. You're not making it any lighter, Daisy. No, you're not. You're not making it any lighter. I'm gonna have to go get a bunch of blocks to use as wedges. All right, I think I'm gonna call it. Daisy and I are gonna cook some hamburgers, start a fire, cook some hamburgers, get a good night's sleep. I think those guys are gonna be here like 7 o'clock in the morning, so 7:30. I need to get a good night's sleep, get up, cook them some breakfast. Good night, y'all. Morning, folks. Welcome back to the ranch. Good morning. I was here yesterday. Y'all saw all that. I have a few friends here today. I think you all know Tucky. This is Bronson.
Hello.
And Jeremy is downstairs doing Jeremy things. We've already started this morning. We are going to slowly crib this wall up a little bit at a time. We put a chain against around the 2 front poles, and my truck is parked at the bottom with the winch coming up. And we have a strap laid out here. Once we get the wall up far enough, we're going to try to put lag bolts in from the bottom to hook the strap onto, and then we'll probably put
Wait.
on top of that to clamp the strap down so that it can't slide up on the bolt. And we're just slowly
Let's see if I can get a little closer.
get the wall on.
I'll get a little higher.
We're so one little bit at a time. Sorry about the wind. We've all got microphones
That's all
on.
I can.
Just a little dead cat things on them, but apologize for the wind. And apologize.
There you go. Let's see if I can.
Okay, got it. Down.
That's some shady shit, right? Oh.
That wouldn't fit? The triangle?
No.
Huh.
Y'all couldn't get it up far enough. Old guys, you couldn't get it up. Damn, we're on video. Well, folks, the battery went dead, but we just kept on working. Probably too much cussing and giggling like little girls and stuff like that going on anyway. There might have been, that's what she said in there too. But as you can tell, the wall is up. We got in there and finished stapling all the house wrap. We got everything pulled down. I don't think I could have done it without these guys. So thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate it very much. I use gentlemen in as loose a term as possible.
I was gonna say, who are you talking to?
But
Looks amazing.
it's amazing. It's going to be, you get used to just the floor space and it's like, I don't know if it's going to be big enough or not. But you walk around up there with a wall up and it makes a big difference. And I love seeing the other boards up here kind of give us an idea of where the porch is going to be too. So I'm excited.
Are you going to extend it out over like that? That looks
Not
kinda
that
cool.
far. Probably about 3 foot. That's probably what,
5, 6.
5 and 4. So
I think it looks kind of cool
it will. I will extend it out.
because it would keep the staircase kind of.
Yep. And I'm going to probably do either 2 or 3 foot extra on the sides also.
Sweet.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it very much.
Absolutely.
It's a huge porch.
It's a huge porch.
That's
The
good.
porch is half the size of the house.
That's
You
what you
have
want.
to.
That's
I
what
mean,
I
you
wanted.
know, in nice weather, if it's screened in or whatever you decide to do, you know, kids can sleep out there, whatever.
Sleeping porch, old school
Yeah.
sleeping porch.
Heck
There
yeah.
you go.
The original house, the rock house, what they called it, and when it was nice weather, if it wasn't dead of winter, all the kids slept in cots out on the porches.
That's awesome.
So I figured I'd have like on one side over here, one side or the other, have like a big table with chairs, like a picnic table. Everybody can come
Play
outside.
dominoes, whatever you want.
Yep.
It's long enough to play cornhole up there.
Yeah, it's big enough to play cornhole. That's right. One of these main beams here will go all the way across the top, and then the rafters will sit on that up to the top of the house. So the porch will actually be another foot higher than what it is right now. I think I can put a little bit more slope in it than what we have represented there. But I thought on this end, if we, 8 foot tall on this end, or at least 7.5 at the porch, I'm gonna have a little half wall, probably like 3 foot tall all the way around, just to keep kids from or buddies that have had too much apple pie from stumbling around and falling off.
What you talking about? Are you gonna build a wall or are you gonna build a railing?
I think it'll be a wall.
It
Because
needs to be a wall. If it's a railing, somebody will go underneath it.
or a kid would fall. The reason at first it was going to do a railing, and it may start out as a railing or an unfinished wall, but eventually it will turn into a wall. That way, I can get screens and make screens to fit in there too, to completely screen it in case the bugs get bad.
Yeah. So,
they'll probably be completely removable, so that I can just take them out.
Yeah.
But I think a screened-in porch in West Texas this time of year, don't need it. But in the summertime,
oh yeah, no.
there's a bug or two.
Yes, sir. 1 or 2.
Especially you expect your ladies to come down.
Yep. And then the porch, I won't do a door. I mean the staircase, I won't do a door. I'll do one of those like magnetic screen things, like for a garage door, where you just push through it and then it come back together.
How does it go?
Or reverse. But I'm excited. That's a big step. Makes it look a lot bigger.
Yes, sir.
It really does.
And this thing is going to get bigger. Let's put the top on.
Well, I know that was a long video. It was 2 days, and it started out as 4 hours of video, or 4.5 hours of video, and I had to finally bring it down to just under, about 30 minutes. So, didn't really tell you guys goodbye, so I wanted to do an outro and say goodbye. Tell you how much I appreciate y'all tuning in, and joining in on building a legacy for grandkids and other people. So, most importantly, I wanted to stop and just take a minute to say thank you. Thank you to those men that come and help, Jeremy and Bronson and Kentucky. There's several others. Kenny spent a year here with me, but it means the world to me. So, I love you. I hope y'all have a blessed evening. We'll see you next time.